She told me to sit down while the gunshots echoed through the hallway. I remembered the metallic sound, sharp, distant, then closer. She stood by the light switch, her arms stretched out like a guardrail between us and survival. "Don't you dare touch that light," she hissed. "You'll get us all expelled." Expelled. That word still rings louder than the screams that followed. I didn't sit down. I stared at her instead, memorizing every freckle, every blink, every cowardly breath that trembled from her nose. Because I knew, even then, that she'd just written her own ending. Her name was Miss Cartwright. She was the kind of teacher who believed fear built discipline. No phones, no whispering, no second chances. She once told me, "The world won't care about your feelings. It'll only respect your obedience." I used to respect her for that. I thought she was strong, unyielding in a way I wanted to be. When she smiled, it felt like approval. When she scolded me, it felt like purpose. She made us believe control was the same thing as safety. Until control got people killed. After the shooting, the news called her composed. The district called her a hero. She said she followed procedure. But I remember how she locked the door too late. How she argued with me instead of hiding us. How she silenced a crying student instead of comforting her. We lost 2 classmates that day because she chose rules over instincts, obedience over life. And when I told the investigators what really happened, she smiled in the hearing room, like she knew the truth wouldn't matter. It didn't. She kept her job, got promoted. And I learned something far more valuable than what she ever taught me. I learned how to wait. A year is enough time for the world to forget. But not me. I watched her life from a distance. The new apartment, the awards, the interviews about courage under pressure. She thought she'd survived the worst day of her life. She didn't know her worst day hadn't started yet. It began with small things. A leak of school footage, anonymous. A few parents questioning her testimony. Then came the students, those she'd silenced, finally finding their voices online. I didn't need to lie. I just gave the truth oxygen. When the reporter showed up at her door, I knew the timing was perfect. They had documents, emails, surveillance timestamps, student statements. The story aired at 7. By 7:15, her district released a statement. By 8, the police arrived. Turns out, hiding evidence after a school tragedy isn't just immoral, it's criminal. She'd falsified the safety logs, altered timestamps, even deleted the part where she blocked the light switch. I didn't have to destroy her. I just reminded the world of what she really was. I stood across the street the night they let her out. The flashing red and blue lights painted her face in irony. Her hands were cuffed, her eyes wild, not from guilt, but disbelief. She looked around like the world had betrayed her. But no, Miss Cartwright, you taught me this lesson yourself. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It only respects your obedience. And I had followed your rule, to the letter. People asked why I did it, why I couldn't just move on. They never understood that I already had. Moving on wasn't forgetting. It was remembering with purpose. Some call it revenge. I call it correction. A teacher once told me that every lesson has consequences. She just never imagined she'd be the one failing the final test. When the world asked what justice looked like, I said, "It looks like a teacher finally learning."